All right, I'm going to reread paragraphs 1 and 2 of The Great Migration for you guys right now. Please make sure you follow along with me. In 1910, around 7 million of the nation's 8 million African Americans, close to 90%, lived in rural South. By 1930, between 1.5 and 2 million African Americans had moved to the cities of the North to find jobs and to create a better life for themselves. This movement north was the first wave of what is now referred to as the Great Migration. According to the National Public Radio report about this important historical event, African American populations in cities such as New York, Chicago, and Philadelphia grew by around 40% between 1910 and 1920, and the number of African Americans working in industrial jobs in these cities nearly doubled. Northern employers sent recruiters to the South to search for workers. The recruiters told stories about better jobs, higher pay, and improved living conditions in the North. They even offered free train tickets as an incentive. African Americans in the South listened to these stories and moved north in droves. So I've put some words up on the board. We have lived, referred, and living. I've also underlined the ending of these words. They either end in ed or ing. So the base form of these verbs would be what happens the beginning of the word. So lived would be live, referred would be refer, and living would also be live. Some verbs double the final consonant before the ending ed or before adding ing. Most commonly, these are verbs that end with a short vowel followed by a single consonant or verb that ends in er with the emphasis on the last syllable. In addition, verbs that end in silent e after a consonant always drop the final e before an ending that begins with the vowel. Now, with these words, you're going to see base words and you're going to see the ending that form each verb. If we look at shutting, you see how we double the consonant T in order to take shut to shutting. In ratified, we have a verb that ends in a consonant followed by Y, so we change the Y to I before adding ED, but not before adding ing. So past tense to ratify, ratified, Y to the I, add ed, but ratify to a verb form of doing, ratifying, ing, we don't get rid of that Y and change it to an I. It stays the same. There are some spelling, those are probably the biggest spelling changes as far as when you change the verb or the tense of those verbs.